I wanted to thank the mayor a few years ago. As Tim said, he called me up and said, why are we having to use fossil fuels in this building, and can we try for net zero? And I said, well, we definitely can get rid of fossil fuels and we can make the building ultra energy efficient. It doesn't mean there won't be energy bills. There will be, and they'll be significant probably, but this building will be probably use a third of the comparable code minimum building, maybe less, in terms of the amount of energy it uses, and it's all electric except for the generator, which is fossil fuel still. It's important to know that it's not just ground up. There's things that we can do for existing buildings, a lot of different things that we can do. So one of the words that keeps coming up is the word resilience, and we need to think about it in different levels. A fire department, emergency services buildings have to be resilient under many conditions. And the way this building is built, besides the fact that it accommodates all the needs that the fire department should require for generations to come, it's built with insulated concrete form walls from footing to roof. So what that means is that it's a reinforced concrete building. It has insulation outside and in, so there's almost no thermal bridging or conductivity of energy through the walls. And then the roof systems, you can see here, this is a steel frame, and the office wing is wood frame. They're super insulated. Then what we're doing is heating and cooling the building with high efficiency air source heat pumps. They're not the typical things you see on the wall, but out back you'll see there are 3 large pieces of equipment, and they run refrigerant into the building through various air handlers or blowers, or they're converted to hot water to heat this slab, radiant heat. So we're putting the heat where it's needed for the fire trucks and not heating the entire space. The point here is that radiant heat can be done with heat pumps, and it's not geothermal ground source, which we would have preferred to do, but with an analysis from NYSERDA, it wasn't cost effective, so to speak. We couldn't justify the cost of the additional well fields and geo equipment. So, but again, it's air source, and it works, and it will work. And actually, if you touch the red tubing over there, you'll see that it's warm, because we're trying to dry out the slab so the final floor finish can go down in this room. There's also energy recovery systems. What those do is bring in fresh air and exhaust stale air and keep a healthy indoor air quality. On the top of the office wing, there's 2 cupolas. Those are there because one is bringing in fresh air and one is exhausting stale air from that major part of the building. What we also did is we changed the form of the building. As you can see, this is a big shed roof facing south, and we took some dormers off of the south facing roof of the office wing so that we could create a future-proofed large aperture or apertures for future solar PV, which Ted and his company are working on and hopefully can actually be installed here. But the reality is that we don't need to have the on-site solar because of the Climate Action Plan in New York State. By 2040, all of the electricity on the grid most likely will be renewable energy. So that means that because we have an all-electric building, not only are we not emitting here, but we're not emitting at the source of the electricity that's being generated. And that's really the circular thinking that has to be made. So first, we make the building very energy efficient as best we can with the dollars that we have. Second, we bring in fresh air, exhaust stale air, and then we condition the space with energy efficient heat pump equipment, be it air source or ground source. And then we offset all of that, the remaining energy used, with renewable energy, be it on-site or on-grid. And that's really where New York State is a leader, that the grid will become green in the next less than 20 years, totally green. And that's really, really, really good. So hopefully that explains in general the building, and the mission, and I really appreciate the opportunity to give you this information and to help with this great project.